I'm going to be recording this in my car, so I'll put some video game footage behind it. And I just wanted to talk about the changes that ZOS are making again to item sets, and the process as well. And I guess it's update 32. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's update 32. And for the most part, I am fine with the changes to proc sets because proc sets. Here's the issue with, especially with proc sets. They can hit multiple times right at once, while I, with my skills, can only hit once per whatever the cooldown is, whatever the I believe that's the word for it. So there's a cooldown on skills, so you can't hit somebody with biting jabs and dizzy swing at the same time, right? You can only perform one skill at a time. But proc sets can ignore that, and that's been part of the problem with them. So you could have, right now, the problem is you can have Dark Convergence go off in Hrothgar's Chill. That can go off, and if whatever your monster set is that might proc at the same time, let's just say it's like Scavenging Demise or something like that, and you can just annihilate somebody. You don't even have to aim some of this stuff. It does. It's like playing on autopilot. You're like Knight Rider. I'm date myself here. I don't know how many people remember that show Knight Rider, with the car that could talk and drive itself and basically follow the commands of Michael, who was the owner of the car, Michael Knight. So the car could just bail him out of trouble. The car could rescue him when he needed rescuing, and that's what it's like wearing those proc sets. You almost have like a what is it? Something that just bails you out of trouble or does your job for you, while I'm kiting and dodging and blocking and healing. You're doing all of that just by performing one skill or one action, and your sets are going to do the rest for you. And so, yeah, I know people are going to be upset. Those who lean or crutch on these proc sets are going to be upset because they're taking that away from them. But it never should have been in the first place. You never should have been able to stack all these different effects on people with little to no counterplay. Like I can only do so much at a time because of the global cooldown. If I'm trying to heal, I can't heal and dodge at the same time, but you can do that with a proc set. So for every 2 or 3 actions that somebody with a proc set performs, I can only perform one action. And that puts the person not wearing a proc set at a severe disadvantage. So it never should have been that way. I don't know. It's hard not to look at the way it was designed and say this is clearly designed for somebody who doesn't know how to play, and we shouldn't encourage players to stay in that state where they don't know how to play. You should be encouraging people to actually get good at the game. And so I don't know ZOS, but ZOS caters to a play style for people who cannot, or who just don't yet know how to play, and they're never going to learn how to play if you put these training wheels on them. They're always going to need those training wheels. So I'm glad that something is being done about the proc sets, but now they're going to allow the proc sets to crit because they understand that not allowing them to stack is going to reduce some of their power, but that was needed. And you don't need to allow them to crit either, because now you're just allowing more damage to be done by these proc sets, where sometimes you don't even have to perform an action to proc these things. They can be like, you can heal just by getting hit. You take damage, which is something that you're supposed to avoid. Taking damage is a penalty for playing badly or somebody else playing better than you. So when you are rewarded or protected by your set for taking damage, where's the incentive for you to get better at the game? Where's the incentive for you to dodge or to block or to learn to read the movement or the flow of players to know that in a minute you're about to be in a bad situation and you're about to be hit by one person or a number of people? Where's the incentive to read all that and to avoid the damage? There isn't any. And so, I'm going to stop ranting about these proc sets right now and just get on to the other part that I wanted to talk about, and that was the hybridization. They're they're going to be taking, from what I understand, every set in the game that has either weapon damage or spell damage, and then making it so that the set gives both. It gives hybrid stats. And while I appreciate some of that, like I wanted a Julianos for hybrids for the longest time. For the longest time, I wanted it because I did not like the 5% penalty on New Moon Acolyte. And so a Julianos for hybrids would be great, excellent. But when they decide to do this to almost every set in the game, the hybrid style no longer becomes something that's niche and unique and something that's rare. Now you can pretty much make a hybrid in your sleep, or you're not even limited. Like there needs to be more options, but at the same time, not to the point where like you don't even have to look hard, or you can just basically slap on any set and now you're a hybrid. I liked it when it was a challenge to make a hybrid, but now it may not be a challenge anymore. So where's the appeal? Well, I still want to play a hybrid style anyway, so I'm still going to do that. But at the same time, there was a bit of a niche playstyle, a uniqueness to it, where you can sort of be different and non-meta, and that was appealing as well. Not being meta and still being able to compete, or at least do your best, because my Necro hybrid, which is the first hybrid I made back in elsewhere, that one hasn't been very good. I wear 2 damage sets, 2 damage sets, and I can slap on Malakath and the Lover Mundus, and people still don't go down, and this is just like, I have just too many issues on that character that I need to sort out. But my DK hybrid feels pretty good. A little squishy, a little too squishy, but it still feels still feels all right. My Sork hybrid, that one is the problem with that one is that it's too squishy, and it lacks a little bit of, like, I can set up burst, but I can't finish the burst on that character. So that's an issue with that character. But and then my Templar, the tank, the Breton, not the high elf, not my first character. She's not a hybrid, but like the Breton that I made, the tank, that one is sort of a hybrid character as well, and that one does all right. Like, she uses biting jabs and sometimes some magical attacks as well, and but she does all right because she's a tank and she has a whole lot of health and a whole lot of armor. So she's not meant to get like a ton of kills. She's just meant to really to be a support character. But when I do decide to go offensive, it's offensively a hybrid. And my Nightblade, my hybrid Nightblade, that one is really, I'm struggling with that one because I think I'm just not very good with the Nightblade playstyle. I don't like cloaking and all of that crap. I'd rather just brawl it out. and so I haven't really found a build yet that'll quite allow me to brawl it out on a Nightblade. Um, so then the last one that I made that is still at level 30 something, and I haven't finished. I'm gonna wait for the Witch Festival, which whatever you call it, the Witch Festival, to finish leveling that one up. But that is my what do you call it? The Warden hybrid. Now that one I am looking forward to playing, but and so far in the under 50 BGs, it's been pretty okay. It hasn't been bad at all. But the real test is going to come when I get into the high MMR matches, and frankly, I'm on a Warden anyway, so it shouldn't be too difficult anyway. But that's what it's a Warden. You're not going to struggle that much on a Warden, but it's going to be fun to play that character, I think. And it'll probably be, I'm guessing it'll probably be my best or my second best hybrid after the DK, the Red Guard DK. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I like the direction that they're taking the game with the hybridization, but I think this is going to be overkill, and it's going to kill the uniqueness or the niche sort of flavor of hybrids, and that I think that would be not good. That would not be good. But it also shows that they're probably going to come up with a hybrid class next. So it could be a battle mage, or it could be a what do you call it? What's another hybrid? Spell sword, or I'm thinking it's going to be a battle mage class probably maybe next year, because they sure seem to be. I mean, why else would they just open up every set for hybrid use? Because it was the hybrids with the last patch with the Waking Flame. That was pretty much as good as hybrids can get. And I don't really, except they were missing some sources of, like some classes like the Templar and the Necro were missing some sources of what do you call it? Major prophecy and major brutality. And there was a potion or a skill that can grant both, that would help. And that was pretty much all that they were really lacking. But other than that, I say for hybrids, that was pretty much as good as hybrids can get, and that's probably as good as it should be. But with them opening up every set for hybrid use, I think the only reason they would do that is if they were coming out with a class that was going to be hybrid, like a hybrid class. And I'm thinking a battle mage, or I'm trying to think of the other thing, the other class. I don't know, or maybe a weapon skill line like a one-handed spell, or who knows, or the monk class. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the monk could be a monk possibly. Who knows? But that's pretty much it. So thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you later.